Hello and welcome to Just Hoops. The Dallas Mavericks tied up the OKC Thunder in the second round in Game 2 off of a tremendous defensive effort. In this video, we're going to talk about the Mavs defense, but in the playoffs so far, they've been really good at this end of the floor, holding teams to 103 points per game, 44% from the field, 38% from three, and great playmaking with 7 steals and 6.5 blocks per game. Things have been a little bit different in the series against the Thunder though. 120 defensive rating, 113 points per game, 46, 40, and 57% true shooting. Yes, OKC had a complete game in Game 1, but Game 2 showed the upside for the Mavs. They found something defensively, and in this video we're going to dive into Game 2 and see what the Mavs did that shut down the OKC Thunder. To have a good defensive day, it all starts in transition. You have to get back, get set, and prevent easy buckets for the other team, and that's exactly what Dallas did in Game 2. Look at the crowd that is getting drawn to the paint and all these transition opportunities for the Thunder. Everybody's running to the paint. Somebody's trying to pick up the ball as they're crossing half court. Here you can see they're positioning a little bit with the blocks and elbows. We'll dive into that more later, and they forced a tough three there. Here the ball gets pushed down the floor. You can see though, everybody is making the appropriate effort. Daniel Gafford is full head on sprinting, gets back, deflects the pass, and then breaks up their transition attack. Here, off the miss by Luka, you can see Shea gets it, gets downhill. Everybody's pointing, talking, positioning themselves, and then they're set before the Thunder even really get an attack opportunity in transition. The way that they were able to guard early in possessions really led them to be so effective at this end of the floor and led them to get stops throughout the game. Now we're going to talk more about the half-court defense, but this clip here kind of overviews a lot of different things that they did. First things first, they did a tremendous job at the point of attack, really pressuring the ball, activating the ball at all times, and staying in front. Secondly, you can see the positioning a little bit. Blocks and elbows, early load with the big, and just playing out of that. So first, let's dive into the point of attack. Throughout the game, specifically earlier on in the game, they start picking up full court, really activating the ball as early as possible, and they were up into the ball handler throughout every possession consistently. Here the ball gets swung out to Chet, ball gets activated, and then got swung to Giddey, short closeout for a non-shooter. Here in this clip here, Dante Exum does a terrific job activating Shea, making him feel him throughout the whole time, bringing the ball up the floor. Ball gets swung in their delay action. In the ball screen, Dante does a great job at staying in front, making Shea feel him, and it led to a very tough 2 in the mid-range. This clip here, we're going to start talking more about the gaps in the point of their attack defense. Kyrie did a good job bringing the ball up the floor and picking it up, but you can see how high he is in that gap, denying Jalen Williams' catch. And then it pushes out their action, and then Luka, active in his gap, shoots up, getting in the pop's way, and then forcing a turnover. Here in this clip here, we're going to have another example of that activity in the gaps. Dante does a great job. PJ Washington stepped up in his gap denied. And then in the ball screen, they switched 1 through 5 when they can, but because of the way that they were guarding the ball, it ended up a tough 3, and the gaps broke things up and really stagnated that play there. Here, the gap activity led to a turnover. First, shutting down Shea's drive, then on that second drive, the stump by Kyrie, and that denial by Derrick Jones Jr. led to the turnover. To sum things up in the point of attack, the ball was always activated. They did a really good job with their guards in the top quadrants of denying and pushing out action, and all that led to a more stagnant look for the Thunder, and there was a lot more switching to create zone-up opportunities for the Mavs to kind of stay home and make things a little bit more difficult, transitioning us into the positioning and help side that the Mavs showed in this game. Here's a great example. Blocks are loaded, big is at the rim. They kept trying to get a big at the rim at all times. It almost looked like a zone most possessions. Here's Jalen Williams, brings the ball up the floor. Look at the automatic positioning of blocks and elbows by the Mavs defense. This made it really difficult for OKC all night to produce good looks, and it forced a lot of tough contested jumpers off the dribble. This clip here, we're going to see a similar thing, but in terms of the big man. So we're going to do the whole clip slowed down. First, the ball screen. You can see Luka and PJ Washington are loading the block and elbow. Weak side, Kyrie Irving is sitting on that block. But the big was the primary helper and the mover throughout this whole situation. Peeling off, staying at the rim. Everybody kind of loaded the paint on that back line. The side with 2 guys fled over. This clip here, we can see an example of the early flood by Derek Lively. They automatically switched him to be the low man, block and elbow on the weak side of low, but Derek Lively plugging the rim early in that possession, shutting down things at the rim and forcing a really tough 2. You can see the cross matching throughout these clips too. They tried to keep Derek Lively and Daniel Gafford in spots to be the low man, and here it paid off with plays like this where Derek Lively was able to meet Chet at the rim on the short roll. To finish up this video, let's look at some complete possessions from this game. Yes, every possession didn't go straight to the book in terms of Lively being at the rim, but this play here, PJ Washington became the rover defensively in the middle of the floor, blocks and elbows were loaded, Luka did a good job at running Lou Dort off the line, PJ was at the rim, long deflecting the ball. On the kick out, you can see Lively's in good position to get out, close out, make Shea attack downhill, blocks and elbows loaded, early flood by PJ, and it led to a contested 3 in the corner. This clip here is an example of their rotations on swings. First, in the ball screen, Daniel Gafford was somebody that they tried to drop, show him quick and get out. In terms of 1 through 4, they switched a lot. They tried to keep Luka out of switches, but here Luka switched. Kyrie did a great job at rotating out, forcing the swing. Derrick Jones Jr., same thing from the elbow, coming down, making Wiggins a driver. And then within their blocks and elbows alignment, Luka, being the smaller guy, sprinted down and made a play on the jump shot. This one here does a really good job at showing the bigs as rovers. On that clip, Lively was the 45 defender, sprinting down, coming at the rim, and forcing the spray out. And then they did a terrific job at switching and kind of zoning up and catching the ball deeper on their attacks, and that made it really tough for OKC to produce a good look, and it eventually led to Kyrie Irving just making a basketball play. These last 4 clips are just to show late game how these principles of blocks and elbows and activating the ball and being present in the gaps led to them winning this game clip by clip. At that 5-minute mark, it led to a kickball just broken possession. Here on the baseline out of bounds, Luka does a great job at activating, blocks and elbows are loaded, and it led to a tough shot at the rim. Multiple effort play here, gaps are loaded, forced the turnover on the second chance opportunity. Here, OKC trying to go with pace, Dallas sprints back, gets set, loads the blocks and elbows, and it forces Shea into a tough decision. Swing, swing, Luka contests the 3 in the corner. And this last clip here puts it all together. The ball gets inbounded, Daniel Gafford is up into the ball, activating it, Shea gets a catch, Kyrie does a good job at being active at the point, Daniel Gafford becomes a rover, and it leads to a turnover to end the game. Dallas found a lot of good things defensively, specifically with their on-ball activation, the way that they loaded the blocks and elbows, and their usage of the big man being cross-matched and using him as a constant helper and rover in the middle of the lane, kind of like a 3-flat alignment, like a 2-3 zone where those 3 guys are able to catch things, make things tough at the rim, and it resulted in a lot of tough 2s for the OKC Thunder. I think going into Game 3, Dallas found something. I hope that they continue to evolve it, specifically in their pick and roll coverage, at switching more or committing to that drop a little bit to keep promoting these tough 2-point shots. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video and are enjoying this series between the Mavs and Thunder. For more content like this, please like, subscribe, and share, and we'll catch you in the next one.